wonderful Melanie Hearn here, the comedian, the best to ever do it. Okay.
Hi.
Okay. So let's just jump right into it. How did you discover your passion for comedy?
Oh gosh. I would say like anybody. Well, I wouldn't say I discovered it early on, but I started comedy content as a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Because I was fat black in the 80s. And, you know, being overweight in the 80s growing up was not, you know, not the thing. So, you know, I kind of got, I ain't gonna say bullied, but I got teased a lot and stuff like that. And one day I was just like, I'm sick of being teased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sick of being teased.
Elementary.
And it's elementary school. And so, yeah, elementary school, it went the whole way. But then by the time I got to 6th grade, I was just like, oh, no, I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I went to school, and I think what I did was I was watching The Living Color, like just the whole summer of The Living Color. And then when I went back to school, like the guy said something, and I said something back, and the class laughed, and I was like, oh, I think I might be on something.
Right.
And so I did it again, and they laughed again, and then he stopped talking, and I was like, oh. And then after that, people was like, oh, don't mess with Mel, because Mel just might roast you.
Right.
And so then I figured out, you know, that was the thing. So then I was like, oh, I think I like this. But I still didn't do anything. I just thought it was just a way for me to, you know.
Like a defense mechanism.
Yeah, a defense mechanism. So I didn't really look at it like that.
You done found your cadence in the class. You like, okay, pause, laugh, pause.
Everything. Now I look back on it, I really did. You know what I'm saying? But like, so I would say that would probably be the onset of it.
Okay, so really that's a confidence builder right there. Like you said, right?
Yeah.
Because you was building that. That was good. Okay, I like that. So I guess this is kind of in the same realm. What inspired you to become a comedian?
So all that happened in elementary school, in middle school, you know. So fast forward, I went my whole track of going to college. My whole game plan was to be an attorney and the whole 9 yards. You know, I went to school, pre-law, went to, got accepted to law school, did the whole 9 yards, was getting ready to go, all that. And I just was like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did the whole track. I was a probation officer. You know, I worked on probation.
Right.
I worked in litigation. Like, I did all these dead-end jobs. You know, not dead-end, but like, I had career paths. But I just was like, And I remember it was your passion. It just wasn't my passion. And I remember it was probably around 2011. I was in a relationship, and, you know, it wasn't the right relationship, and the guy gave me the money for the class and all that, and I spent it, I blew it and all that. And then it was a bad breakup, and I was just blah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, you know, and my mom was like, I'm so sick of you walking around with the boo-boo face. So, you know, because anybody that know me know I smile, I laugh, I'm bubbly. So for me not to be that way, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go to law school. This relationship was over. You know, you start to hit your 30s, you're like, what do you do? You know, you're in late 20s, what do you do? And I remember my mom was like, this is when the paper was they still did classifieds in the paper. And she bought me the paper, and she was like, I seen the ad in the paper for a comedy class at Mark Ridley's comedy class, Comedy Castle. She gave me the paper, circled it, she called, she said, call and see when the classes start. This was like a Tuesday. God willing, classes started Saturday. I walked in, rest is history.
Wow, dope. You know, I actually heard about Mark Ridley's class. I think I may have to give it a try.
Yeah, you may have to give it a try.
Yeah. You see, it really helped you out.
I mean, that's where I got my start, because when I walked in, I took a class from Bill Sharp. Hey, Bill. He's my Yoda. He's so modest. But when I walked in, it was just the pictures on the wall, the way he stood on the stage and the light hit him with the microphone, the smell of that popcorn, stale popcorn in the air. It's just something in the air at a comedy performance. The energy is something that you
it's
just
infectious.
you feel. And so I was like, oh, this is my tribe.
This is it.
This is it. I belong here.
Yes.
And everything just kind of took off from there.
Okay, I love that. So how long have you been doing comedy?
It'll be 10 years in January.
10 years. Okay, nice. So you need to go and have you a 10-year anniversary? I know you're doing that.
I need to.
But it is January. It's a whole new year.
A whole new year. January 15th will be my 10-year anniversary.
Okay, you need to plan for that. That's coming. That's good.
You
10
know
years
what?
is a good number.
Yeah, I do. I do. The big 10.
Yes.
You did your big one.
Okay.
Your big one.
So, what was your first time on stage like? How did that feel? Like just stepping out there because you know it's a lot of pressure, a lot of nerves, and people just think you're gonna get booed. Was you like I'm going out? I didn't care. How do you feel?
So my first time was actually our graduation class. So what happens is you take the class for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And at the end, they have a huge graduation class. So everybody, family and friends come. And then Wrigley's just have a walk-in crowd. People just come.
Gotcha.
So if you haven't been there, like the back wall was open, which means it's easily 350 plus once they open that back wall. You know what I'm saying? So this is my first time, packed house of people. My parents are there, my family is there, my cousins is there, which side note happens to be my bishop and my first lady. So they there and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, Mel. I mean, I remember being a ball of nerves. I was just like, what did I get myself into?
Right.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. What
are you doing? Am I gonna forget my words? Am I not gonna remember? You know, like you just it's all that kind of stuff. You know, I wasn't even thinking about necessarily getting booed.
Jitters, right? Just more so nerves.
Was I like my nerves and was I gonna remember anything I had to say?
Okay.
And when I got out there, and again when I talked, and they laughed, I was like, oh, and I did it again, and they was like, oh. Right. So I just eased on into it, and I mean, I could tell from my first time and now that I was talking super fast. Okay. But I mean, it was just exhilarating. Once you're there and you out there, and it's just you and the microphone and nobody else, there's nothing you can do. Right. It's just sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? And so, I be doggone if I'm about to sing. So
I'm gonna be swimming for my life.
I'm swimming for my life. But it was one of the most terrifying but exciting, rewarding films of my life.
I love that.
It was like a rush.
Yes. And that's a rush that you always chasing when you go on stage.
Pretty much. It's just always a high that you get, you know, when you go on stage.
Yeah. Okay. So who was your comedic influences growing up? We're starting out more so, I guess when you got into the thing, who did you like look up to? Like I kinda wanna, you know.
Like when I got into the business?
Yeah.
That's right. When I got into the business, I looked at certain people because it was weird because I thought that I was doing, so let me backtrack. I thought I was doing comedy wrong for a while because I didn't grow up watching Def Comedy Jam. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of references I didn't get, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't watch it. I could watch Comic View, you know, but I couldn't watch Def Comedy Jam.
Okay. Too raunchy for us, right?
Yeah, it was too raunchy. So a lot of my influence was just regular TGIF people, regular Chevy Chase, National Lampoon's Vacation, Whoopi Goldberg, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it was just regular, rocking with just regular, Billy Crystal, you know, Three Amigos, just, you know, that kind of stuff.
We look, be the geniuses,
yeah, so that was my, so and then I started on the mainstream side at Mark Wrigley's. Okay. And so, when I got to comedy, when I started, I was just like, well, I'm doing this wrong, you know, because a lot of the people, you know, when I got up, they didn't talk like I was talking. Okay. And I would say my very first person that kind of reached out a hand to me that I remember was this guy named JD the Small Hustler. I actually know JD was one of the first people that kind of, you know, helped me out and everything like that.
I could play with him actually.
Yeah, like JD was, you know, so it wasn't so much that I looked up to these people, but these were the people in the beginning that were really instrumental in helping me up. And so like JD helped me get to the other side of comedy, the urban side. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got to the urban side, I was just blown away. When I saw like when I met like Heather J, when I met like Ron Taylor, when I met even Ron that was on both sides, but I met like Josh, when I saw Kool-Aid for the first time, when I saw Shawnee D, when I saw when I saw all these different people, you know what I'm saying? Just quick off the hip, JB. Like I was like enamored, but at first I was like, how are they doing this? Like, that's not me. I can't. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just
trying to find your way.
Yeah, trying to find my way. So. I would say I was just a student of everybody, and I just was a student of the art form, and just watching it from that side was so different for me. So I would say that would be like my first part of maybe looking up for influential people was
So did you kind of stay in the mix of it, even when you weren't on stage? Wasn't on stage? Did you stay in the audience of people, and just like you said, just watching them and just in there?
Absolutely, because here's the thing: in the beginning, it's changed a lot in our industry. But when I was coming up, you couldn't get up everywhere. You couldn't get up at Baker's all the time. Okay. You couldn't get up at...
Because they had they set...
well, yeah, because Kool-Aid, rest in peace, but Kool-Aid ran everything. Okay. And you had to show him that you were funny.
Okay.
So this was a show and prove place. You have to show. You have to earn that spot. You know what I'm saying? So we would come and watch and, look and learn and stuff like that. And, one day he'd be like, I gave you a chance. And there was so many people like that. Like, you didn't just get to go up.
You just
they set the bar. So you had to sit, you had to learn, you had to watch, you had to show up, you had to support, you had to be a part of the community.
That's right.
You had to make relationships. So for sure, I would come out even if I wasn't getting up.
I know that's right.
Because it wasn't, because it necessarily wasn't a guarantee.
Right.
But just like any industry, Mike Bonner is one of the first people that taught me to treat this like a career.
Okay, yeah.
So with that being said, you dress for the job you want.
That's right.
So if I want to be a stand-up, if I want to get up, then I gotta come out. You gotta see my face as if I'm there. So I definitely would come out and stuff like that.
It's the same thing like sports. You ain't on a team, but if you gotta be there for your team.
You gotta be there, because you never know if somebody fall out. I need you. Is there a doctor in the house? Doctor. Is there a comic in the house?
It's your turn.
Here,
Come on up here.
Is there a comic in the building? So definitely.
Right. So what's your favorite stand-up specials? Well, not just Netflix, but it's a lot of, streaming devices right now. You got some dope stand-up specials. Just name one or two, your favorite.
To be perfectly honest.
It makes you laugh.
Recently, not too many, and not because they're not, but it's just because I haven't watched a lot of stand-up, I do comedy, because I don't want to.
Gotcha.
It's like sometimes I don't want to get nobody's head, you know what I'm saying?
I feel it. What about back in the past then? Go back again.
I will say, I love Dave Chappelle Live at the Fillmore. Live at the Fillmore is probably one of my favorite ones. And Monique, when she did the one in jail. When she did the prison with the ladies' prison, that is by far one of the funniest ones I've ever seen, where I laughed. And Lavelle Crawford, when he went back home and did...
Girl, Lavelle.
Lavelle Crawford makes me laugh out loud. And I will say, because I can't think of the name of their specials, but Bill Burr and John Mulaney both got specials where I love... John Mulaney is such a great writer. Okay. And he does a lot of dark comedy. So just to see how he turns it all the way around. Right. So I would say those 5 had the last that I watched and enjoyed,
That's some good picks. That's some good picks, honestly. So do you write your material or memorize it, or do you just off the top of the dome? How you coming?
All three.
All three?
It's a little bit of both.
So does it get easier because you probably was starting out writing it first, or how did it go?
I never really sat down to try. It's really hard to try to sit down and write and be funny. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, the way I learned how to do a set was I just kind of thought it out of my brain. So whatever I thought was funny in my mind, I would kind of write down bullet points of what was, okay. Because I used to use index cards a lot, which I probably will get back to. But a lot of times I have notes, bullet points, the points I want to go. So then when I get on stage, then that's when I'll go ahead and flush out those bullet points and then just kind of riff and then try to record and try to remember what I said so that I can go back, and then that's when I start writing and filling in the blanks. So it's kind of like rinse and repeat, and then I do it, and it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. So whatever sticks, I keep. Right. Whatever don't work, I toss it, throw it away. So,
but like you said, whatever don't work, you still got to keep on moving right on to the next joke.
Or I move on to whatever the portion is. Like if I'm working on a new joke and that bit in the part of the joke is not working, then like you said, I don't keep it, but I'm still work that joke out.
Oh, okay. So instead of getting rid of the joke,
I don't get rid of the joke
because it's still relatable.
And that's the common misconception that people get, is that they don't think that the joke is bad, and it's not necessarily sometimes the joke. You have to try the joke a couple different times in a couple different ways to see what it is. Is it the whole premise that's trash? Could be. You might need to, is it the idea? Is it the punchline? What part of the joke is trash? And you throw that part of the trash out and you rework it.
Because it's the delivery.
Because it can be a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And then it could be how you're saying it. It could be how you need to work the order. Okay. Or it could just be a terrible joke.
Yeah.
But you don't know, but
have you ever had a joke where it worked for one crowd and didn't work for the other?
Absolutely.
Like it depends on where you are or the crowd age. How that go?
Absolutely. Because you never know. That's why I don't hear a lot of people, or, rule of thumb, if you have 20 solid minutes, say if somebody be like, oh, I got 45 minutes of comedy. Well, in retrospect, that means you have 20 or 10, 15 really. Because say if you're solid 45, that means that you're betting that every joke is going to work.
It's going to hit, right. You can't
every time. So if one of them jokes don't work, then say if your 5-minute bit don't work, now you only have 40.
Right.
And then say if 15 of those don't work, now you only have 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
And say if they don't like any of your 45, you're done.
Yeah.
So then what?
What do you do?
What do you do?
Back to the drawing board you go. Yeah, real talk.
So if you're doing 45 minutes of comedy, realistically, you need to have 2 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours, because you need to interchange if this stuff don't work. You need to be able to shoot from the hip.
So when you come in with your jokes, do you kind of do you have a set time frame where I'm going to do a 30-minute, do you know you have 30 minutes of jokes, or do you feel like I'm just off the top, because off the top of the dome, you got to kind of work that,
Oh, you talking about how much time do I have?
Yeah, like when you go when you get in the set, do you got 3-minute sets and you got a 30-minute set? Like, do you have that many jokes? How do you know, I can hold that down?
So what it is that you book based on the amount of time that you have and over your track record.
Got you. Okay.
So just because you've been doing comedy 10 years, you may not have a consistent 10-minute set. So comedy is booked on jokes equal money. We book people based on what you know you can do. Okay. They know they can call Melanie Hearn if they need somebody to go in there in 30 minutes, 45, and they know that she gonna be all right. She gonna hold it down. Somebody else, no, I may not call that person. If I need a tight 15, I'm gonna call this person because I know they have a tight 15 for what I know they can do. Okay. So when we book, we're almost self-employed people. We book people based on what I know you can do, and as a community, we all talk. So when it's time for me to say, hey, who got a good 15? Right. I'm gonna go to my coworkers and my peers, and then we kind of be okay, this is what we see as a collective, and then that's how we go. So it's
teamwork.
Yeah, so we all talk as a collective. It's not that we're this person. It's just as a collective, we need to know who we're dealing with because this business is about consistency. And your reputation precedes yourself. Yes. So consistently across the board, if you mention my name, you're gonna hear she's funny. Yes. She's professional. Yes. You're gonna get the same thing every time around the board. Ain't no smut on my rep. It's not gonna be. So that's how we book. That's dope. So the people you see working, those are people you see that when you mention their name, you know what you can get. They're tried and true. They're tested. Right. That's how we. I love that. That's how we roll.
That's dope. Yeah. Okay. I love that. So, what do you do when you experience writer's block, or do you ever get writer's block, or are you kind of I just can't get nothing new, nothing new coming?
Usually that's an indication when you need to stop and live life. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. That's usually an indication. I have it all the time. Sometimes. Because I had to stop. I had to go to Texas. I had to kick it. I had to go and create life. Yeah, you got to stop for a minute and create life. You know what I'm saying? Because and new memories and new experiences. Because if you don't, you're going to kind of be on the hamster wheel. And you can do, and I'm not saying that, but some people do observational comedy and stuff like that. But I still think writer's block happen when you're just doing too much anyway. So we can just burn ourselves out anyway. Sometimes you just have to stop and smell the roses. You got to stop and kick it, and and that's where the balance comes in.
Yes. Okay.
So for me, that's the indication.
So basically, what you're saying is you understand how to take care of self-care.
I'm learning. I'm getting there. It took me a second. I started steamrolling, so I'm not saying I came out the box because in the beginning you're trying to hit every mic, you're trying to do everything, you're trying to conquer everything in this time frame, and then.
But when it's too much, you do your body. You listen to your body, or it's more so it's your mind.
All of the above. Your body will tell you. Your mind will tell you. Your friends will tell you. Your material will tell you. You know what I'm saying? You'll start
at the window.
You start to live your material. I needed, just to be honest, I needed a break right before I left. And I could tell that the way I was delivering my jokes were kind of mean. Kind of angry. You know what I'm saying? People trying to compliment me, and I'm like, shut your mouth doing my show. And they're like, I was just laughing. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Because I'm sick of everybody. So that lets me know.
All y'all can get it.
They just laughing. You know what I'm saying? Right. They doing what I'm asking them to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how. Did not you receive it.
I'm all like, shut up.
Change the scenery. I need. That's what that was.
So that's a clear indication that I need to.
Okay. So can you share a funny behind the scenes story from your career?
Oh, let me find one that's appropriate.
Find one that's good.
Let me find one that's good and appropriate.
Inappropriate. Yes. I got one.
I got a good one. This is a funny story. So I was in LA when I was living in LA, and we were at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood.
Okay.
And so I was sitting there and I was looking all cute. Heather always laughs because when I say that, so I'm looking, very stunning.
Okay, very demure.
Very demure. And so we standing around, and it's a group of us comics, we just standing around talking. And so I kept turning back and I seen this white guy on the bench. He kind of staring my direction, but I'm like, are you gawking? Are you trying to holler? Right. So I'm looking back, like, why is he staring? I mean, I'm all Detroit aggressive.
Like, what's up?
So I'm talking to my friends, like, y'all see this guy? He's staring at me. I mean, what's his problem? They like, maybe he like you or something like that. I'm like, well, he need to holler, buy a drink. And they like, well, where is he, man? I'm like, he right there. And they was like, dude, that's Bill Burr. And I was like, oh, well, he better holler.
Say something.
Say something. I don't care who you are. Say something. Which means I was getting ready to, flirt all up in Bill Burr.
Like, this Bill Burr.
Yeah. So,
right.
So again, being a little overzealous.
Yes, that was dope. That's funny. So, are there any other mediums you like to explore, like such as acting or writing, or put your hands in something else? Or?
Absolutely. I would like to try my hand at acting.
Okay.
Writing. I would like a sitcom.
Okay.
I would like to write a couple sitcoms.
Okay. So you want to write it because you write it yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, we are inherently writers.
Yeah.
Because if you write your own material, we're joke writers.
That's right.
So I would love to, write my own sitcoms. I got a couple ideas about some past jobs that I had and things like that. And I also want to do something about myself. I feel like I have a nice coming of age show.
Yes. Oh, so you mean like when you say something about yourself, like the show about yourself?
Yeah, like everybody everybody hates Chris and everybody loves Raymond. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What about Mel Mel? You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
What about Mel Mel?
Manifest that. Put that right on.
Yeah. What about Mel Mel?
What about Mel Mel? I would watch it too.
What about this? What about Mel Mel this week?
It's basically it's a living your memoir out on screen.
It's pretty much it's just living everything out. All my goof because I feel like. One person I always felt very connected to with the show wise is even when before she got insecure was Issa Rae. Because when she did Adventures of an Awkward Black Girl, I was like, that's me.
Yes.
Like, that's me.
So relatable.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we try to be so cool on the outside, but it is something so geeky in the inside.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So I just want to...
Down to looking in the mirror, just talking to yourself.
So, and I just want to... So I want to explore, those kind of things.
Okay, that's good. That's gonna bring some good,
And I might want to do me a blockbuster, nice action movie.
I can see you doing too a good scary movie.
Yeah,
I can see you in a scary movie.
Scary movies. I'm scared. Yeah. You see what happened to Brandon Lee on The Crow, the whole cast of The Exorcist, The Poltergeist, every scary movie that had people. The people had met their demise. It was not demure. It was demise.
I ain't trying to go down.
I'm not trying to be demise. I'm trying to be demure.
So, how do you handle tough crowds or hecklers?
The Detroit way. No, I'm just kidding.
Baby.
So you have two types of hecklers. So some hecklers are friendly hecklers. They don't mean anything by it. They just really excited. They never been to a comedy show, or they think they're supposed to interact. So some people you can kind of tell the difference.
Gotcha.
So you kind of handle them a little different. You give them a couple warnings. Okay, man, this ain't your show.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll get it or something like that. So you kind of gotta progressively handle them.
Okay.
So that's the nice heckler, and you kind of just progressively give them, and usually they'll get the point or something like that. And then you have like the drunk nice heckler. You know what I'm saying? Where again, they're nice. They're just drunk. They just so you get it.
Yeah.
The bachelor party, when you see 4 white girls with the fishbowl, you know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody pulling something off their shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you got the ones that are mean, that want to say something, that got an issue with your joke, and they want to give you a rebuttal or something like that. And those are the ones that we got to take your head off. Yeah. We try to be nice, so it all depends. So everybody got a difference, and then it depends on what mood I'm in. Like, I'm human.
That's right. So it's like when you want to attack me, now I'm gonna show you how you don't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get you. So if I'm in a good mood, and maybe I'm not in a good mood that day, and I just don't want to hear your mouth.
Right.
And so I might. So it's a gamble, but me personally, I try to gauge it and, see if it's a nice heckler or not. Right. But if you're not, then I just gotta.
I think it's disrespectful when they do heckle, only because it knock you off your square. It's like it's already enough pressure to get on stage, and you're gonna try to make me forget my joke.
That's where you gotta be the professional.
Exactly.
You're not knocking me off my square.
I know that's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. Okay. That's the difference between them. They not like us.
They're not like us.
I wish you would.
This ain't your show.
This is my house.
I know that's right. And okay, so how do you cope with the pressures of fame and public scrutiny?
I would say fame and scrutiny come on whatever level that you want. Being in a position where people see me now, you got to conduct yourself differently. Okay. I will be transparent to say I have some bumps and bruises along the way that made me realize that I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like Aaliyah was like, I'm just not anybody. Yeah. So you have to start treating yourself that way, especially in the age of social media.
Let the world know how to handle you and treat you.
Yeah, how to handle you, how to treat you. But also, you can't afford to get out of pocket because somebody might videotape you. Yes. You can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be viral, Yeah. I'm on the news. Yes. I can't afford for somebody to catch me acting a fool. I do church shows. I do a lot of different things, So I have an image and I have a brand.
That's right.
So I have to protect my brand. I have to protect my image, and something that I love what that Marlon said on Club Shay is like, I got people to answer to. I got parents, I got church members, I got family, I got nieces and nephews, community, people around here that looked at Melanie Hearn as a standard to carry myself. So I'm accountable, and so for that alone, I have to, but sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, and that's when you just have to withdraw and step back. Sometimes you gotta know when to step back.
And you gotta keep your peace of mind.
Yeah, and in the words of the great Kenny Rogers, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You know what I'm saying? Know when the chips are down, learn to count your blessings.
Come on now. I know
so,
that's right.
Trial and error. I have to learn through trial and error.
That's it. So, what was the best night of your life in terms of comedy?
Full circle moment, when I got to headline Mark Ridley's Comedy Club that I started.
Yeah.
So, that was always my thing. When I came in, I said, I'm headlining this club.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I think I probably said within 10 years, I'm doing this.
And you manifested. And how long did it take you to do it after you finished this class to be able to headline that? 8 years. 8 years. Dope. Because I did it last December. So just to have my teachers that taught me and go, because I went through the whole gambit there. You know what I'm saying? So I started as a student. I did all the open mics. I did the contests. Intern comedy. Intern, you know what I'm saying? Then I moved my way up to hosting. And then I featured. And you know what I'm saying? And for a while I felt like I was just stuck at this plateau of featuring. And then one day I got a call, and I will say this, all divine timing. Because, God be the glory. I feel like he put different people in place for different things. And it's a white female comedian named Maria Bamford. And Maria actually spoke up, like, why y'all don't have women of color here headlining this club. And 2 weeks later I got a call to headline that club. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have good relationships.
Good relationships with people, And I know it was coming, but just to have people speak up, on your behalf, and people, women of color especially, it says a lot. So to see my face on the wall, to walk in and see my face on the wall, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we work for, is your face on the wall.
I know that's
so my first time having my face on the wall, I can say that was one of my, don't get me wrong, I love when I was in LA, being at the comedy, all that stuff, but
that was a moment.
But this thing, it was a full circle moment.
What that sounds like? It's kind of giving when you walk down LA, you got your Hollywood Walk of Fame, your star. That's what it's like. You got a star because you're on the wall.
Because I was like the star. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I love that.
And it felt like I earned it, and that when you get the respect of your peers, that you earned this spot. You know what I'm saying? That's a different feeling. So I earned it.
You worked hard for that. Yes, you did. So, what's the funniest thing that's happened to you recently? Embarrassing moment, anything, just something that happened to you like this.
First of all, this. You see this? Let me just start right there. Y'all see this? You know what I'm saying? You see this, right? That's the worst. You know what I'm saying? This, what you do? This happened in Houston, man. You know what I'm saying?
Houston night. I said you say something about Houston night.
Yeah, this, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is I woke up with no nail. You know what I'm saying? I woke up with no nail. No nail. You know what I'm saying? No nail. Embarrassed herself in these streets doing something stupid. So I can't tell you what it is.
Not you woke up, you ain't know what happened.
You know what I'm saying? No nail. Like, I remember the nail, and I was like, my nail. You know what I'm saying? And I know I was dancing real hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know what? Me and my homegirl was trying to recreate a house party. Like, come on, Shireen. And I hit my nail trying to be Shireen.
You like,
and you know what? Trying to do house parties. So that's on me.
It be like that sometimes.
So yeah, that's why I've been talking like this.
So I've
been trying to talk like I'm real, like
you hit it good. Real,
yeah. I've been out here like Dr. Cornell West. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you, community, is I'm trying to have my hand.
Don't look too close.
Don't look too close.
So
just dig in my ear.
You know what? Because you did it good.
You know what I'm saying? I've been doing good.
If you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Anywhere in the world
that you haven't been yet, of course, right? So, yeah.
I feel like I don't necessarily have like a place.
Okay.
Just yet where I'm like, oh, I would love to perform or tour here or there, you know, because I would just love to travel the world and do comedy. But one of my things is I can't wait to do the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and with the Roots behind me or whatever have you. Because ideally, we're manifesting this. I want my own late night show. You know what I'm saying? So I want my own late night show.
I see it.
You know, like John Rivers with the dresses and all that stuff.
Yes.
But I'm a late night girl, so I love to perform on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, that's gonna be nice. Come on, you heard it again.
You heard me, Jimmy. I love you, Jimmy. It's Taxi. Come on, Jimmy.
Call her on in.
This should be everlasting love. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to like come to break you off, but that was not what I was trying to say. But
10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary. Come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Break me off, son. Don't say nothing.
Manifestation. Okay. So, what was the best city that you performed in? That you just like, this is, you know, how people come to Detroit, they just like, I love Detroit, you know, but where have you been like, I love y'all? You know, I think they just be saying that though. Do they really love that city?
Where have I been? I'll be like, I mess with y'all for real. You know what? I'm being honest. Again, it's like trying to pinpoint something where I'm like, I love it, but I like small towns.
Really?
Because they are so appreciative of comedy. Like, I probably had so much fun with this crowd in Salem, Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And places like that, or a little small, because especially if they're not used to
comedy shows or
especially if you go into towns where they're not used to black people, black women, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I like going to these places where I feel like I'm bridging the gap. You know what I'm saying?
Bringing love and light through laughter.
Yeah, through laughter. You know, so like I said, don't get me wrong, I love all those places. I would say most recently, what I did love was performing in Austin, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this why, because I was in Austin, Texas, and you know, very Trump country, and and I was down there, and I was at one of the clubs, and you know, everybody kind of got their own humor and brand, you know, whatever, teach his own, but it's very direct opposite of mine, and I was sitting there kind of thinking like, what do I want to do? You know what I'm saying? There's probably about 200-300 white people in here, handful of, you know, Latinos, Mexican, you know, so like us Mexicans and, you know, white people, but handful of black people probably, you know, most of them probably not really urban, but, you know, probably some. And I'm sitting here like, what, you know, and throughout the whole day I was listening to all the rhetoric and everything like that about, you know, here, all that. And I said, Melanie, what joke do you want to do? And I said, you know what, Mel? Let's do our joke about the white man. You know what I'm saying? Being cold, you know, because he got cop blockage. You know what I'm saying?
That was good.
And I felt like that was my moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you be like, what's the
crowd
like,
is perfect.
It was that, but it was
diverse. It was good.
But you know what? It was just one of those like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I would say that was that moment. That was,
it hit a home run.
It hit a home run. Like, that was, I really had a good, like, sometimes we can't get the world back the way you want to. And comedy allowed me to get out my insult.
Yes.
A blanket insult. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is just like crowds like that are direct opposite of me. You know what I'm saying? I just like.
It's like a good challenge though, but it's like is it more so a challenge or just a comfortability because they don't really know you?
It's a challenge. But doing majority white crowds as a black woman, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One, my material is very different than what you think that I look like.
Right.
Because I'm about to tell you that I'm not a feminist, and you know, I don't like Susan B. Anthony to go there. You know what I'm saying?
I told you the female Dave Chappelle.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very opposite, but I really enjoy that because a lot of the times when I'm done, you know, people will be like, "Man, I laugh, but you also make me think."
Yes.
You know, so those are my favorite crowds. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Message.
Message. Good old message.
Good old message. So those are my, I would say those are my favorite places. But you know, I just want to travel the world.
But that's how you know it's your passion right there. You know, because you get a joy out of even doing that, just that right there. Yeah. Bringing love and light and bringing people together in laughter. Yeah.
But I would love, a challenge I would love to do is in a country where they don't understand me really. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that would be a good challenge and everything like that. Because I remember I was doing comedy and I was in LA and this girl, she can barely speak English. And I remember her saying like, I don't really know what you were saying or can relate, but whatever you were saying, I felt it and I know it was funny.
Wow. So she felt just your vibe.
She just was like,
your body language sounded like it was
funny. She was like, whatever you were saying, like she was like, I couldn't put all the references together. I didn't necessarily understand all of, but I felt it and it made me laugh because I felt it.
That's
and
deep.
I was like,
that's different. That's deep. Oh yeah. I know they made you feel good.
Yeah. So that's one of my things I would love to do. So people can just feel me, you know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. I kind of feel like I asked you this question somewhere, but what has been the most rewarding aspect of your career?
Probably like all of that, being able to change people's moods. And then I remember one day I had a Mother's Day show last year, I believe, and it was a lady who was like, and it was crazy because a lot of times we take for granted what we do. I had 3 shows that day, and I'm just like, I gotta go here. I go here. I didn't even feel like it. I think I had just got in an argument with my boyfriend. You know, all kind of stuff at the time. And I wasn't feeling it. And I remember I got up there, and after I was done, this lady was like, "Thank you," because I had lost my mom. A lot of people was like, "I lost my mom," you know, either earlier that year or you know whatever. And this one lady was like, "I didn't want to come out because I got cancer all over my body, and I didn't even want to come outside." Wow. But you made me laugh, and you changed, and I was over here crying, laughing. You know what I'm saying? So
you never know who
needed you at that moment. So in those moments, I say that's probably the most rewarding. Or when I worked at the cemetery,
and you needed that as well, because like you said, you was already going through your stuff, and then that comes.
Yeah. Well, and working at the cemetery, because I was a family service counselor at the cemetery, which means my job was to sit down with families and make the arrangements with them. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to go through the whole 9 yards. So when the cars show up, I'm directing the cars. I'm at the gravesite. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing. And so to be able to have, and once some of my families, because I had to do what we call aftercare appointments. So you meet back up with your families and stuff like that. And then when you deal with people in grief and it's that hard and you're nice to them, they kind of gravitate to you, you know? And a couple of them, when I moved to LA, showed up to my comedy show. You know what I'm saying? And donated money and stuff like that. So I would say the fact that I was able to bridge those 2 worlds together, that's
dope. Yeah, so you would never know. You just jump on out there and do it though, and leave a lasting impression on it. You better never forget how they met you.
Because what my aunt would say, people will never remember what you did for them, but they'll always remember how you make them feel.
Yes, that's powerful. So what do you think about the current state of comedy today? With the new age comedians, you know, TikTok. You know, I'm a TikTok. I came off of TikTok first, you know. It's like
I'm just like,
and then the stand-up is different now. It's, you know, but the thing you still gotta do shows, right? Because that's when you grow.
So I would say the thing is, people have to figure out what their end game is, because everybody don't have the same end game. I think anything can be a hybrid. People can learn from one another. You know, TikTok people can learn from stand if that's what you want to do. Right. But what happens is, and honestly, Jerry Seinfeld said something where he was like, the ecosystem is just going to even itself out anywhere it go. So once you figure out what you want to do, then you kind of move accordingly. Yes, sometimes to stand up, we need to maybe promote ourselves a little bit on social media more and do a little bit of both, you know.
To grow more.
But I think what happened was after COVID, we did take a whole shift where social media comedians kind of became the forefront. Stand-up comedians kind of came the back. Because you couldn't get in public. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really knew who we were. Right. But then what ended up happening was, even on a local level, you know, people from skits or being on, you know what I'm saying? So even from a local standpoint, So it's two different things. So you got that part. So to me, what ended up happening was when people would come to comedy clubs or actual shows, okay, now we see the person, but when people sit down to a show, now we won't stand up.
Right.
Because now we're sitting down.
Yeah.
So either the first time they're going to either want to see exactly what they see on the internet, almost like you working out your skit. But what was happening was those internet people were calling stand-ups to come open for them because they needed somebody to anchor the show because we're still stand-up comedians.
Right.
We still know how to mangle the crowd. We still know how to control the room, control the energy. Like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So I think once a lot of them start seeing that it was not that easy and what you see there and there is two different things, then you kind of had two different folks. Either the ones that was going to bow out and just say, I ain't doing it no more, or the people who said, we going to do the work.
Which it should be paying homage anyway, because like you said, we can learn from each other. So why not just shift together and then we both just, I teach you this, teach you the ropes of that, you know? That's really what it should be.
But I mean, if you get in the bag, you know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing you can see, you know? So it was a little animosity to be, you know what I'm saying? Because like, if we working this hard and now I can't get no weekend dates because you here and now you bringing your whack homeboy and now I can't none of us get no gigs now, you know? So it was a little bit of a...
messing up people's money.
Yeah, you're messing with the money now, you know what I'm saying? Because now you coming into our world.
Right.
So now when you got, no knock to tea, but now when you got people, rappers and everybody, that's one less comic that worked hard. Yeah. Now we can't get a weekend.
To try to build their name before all
that.
Sure.
So that's one less headliner that's getting a gig. That's one less feature. That's one less host because a lot of these people bringing their own people.
Right.
So that's one less gig we getting. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So now you cutting into our world.
I can see that.
So that's where, you know, so now it's starting to mellow out because now the clubs are seeing that. Now they can't keep putting butts in seats. But you know who can? Stand-up comedians.
That's right.
They can keep doing it.
Get the ticket sales up.
Because people are consistent because they know they want to see stand-up.
Yeah.
So to that end, that part. Okay. The other part is, I don't think it's unique to stand-up. I think it's unique to a lot of industries as a whole. You have a lot of people that's coming in, and I think because they got a lot of notoriety on the internet.
Right. They feel like they're going to have a fan base automatically.
They feel like they don't have to do the work. And I saw this, like, I was watching, like, one of my favorite shows, Hey Ru. I love RuPaul Drag Race. Same thing. I saw it on RuPaul Drag Race. You got queens that's been in the clubs for 10, 15, 20 years. And then here come a queen that came on, and you only got, like, you've been on TikTok or Instagram, and you only been doing drag for 2-3 years. But y'all in the same competition. So you see where the little animosity come in. But what I saw happening was...
It's like they got the same... It's not so really it's like no ranking up anymore. Like more so like working your way up anywhere. Because it's like we all got the same opportunity now at that point.
Pretty much. So it's almost like what happened was... The internet gave everybody the same playing field. But the talent is still going to level each other out. So we can all be in the same room.
Right.
But who's going to stay? So what ended up happening was a lot of the girls who were on the internet didn't know how to translate that to being show people on the, you know what I'm saying? Because being in a New York club as a drag queen is very different than, you know what I'm saying? Same thing I seen in the real estate. A lot of real estate, it was like the big listings in New York. They ended up getting on because it was some internet people, sold a couple things, and now people are attracted to the business because of this person. But when it came down to the 1+1 of real estate, it wasn't there. So same thing.
Okay.
You can get there, but comedy will always humble you because there's still 1+1 plus 1. You cannot get around
still gotta be funny.
Premise of the punchline. You can't get around that. Yeah. You cannot get around that.
It's still a form. There's still an art to everything, you know.
So you know, it'll weed itself out.
That's dope. That's true.
You know, so we'll be sitting here and guarantee you 20 people that you know they won't be here next year.
I witnessed something like that, but we ain't gonna say no names. You know. So, what advice would you give to aspiring stand-up comedians?
Do the work. Do the work. First of all, figure out what your end game is. Figure out if comedy is a hobby or a career. Once you figure out what it is, then you move accordingly.
Right.
And get out the way of the people that want to do the other one. So career people, don't get mad at the hobby people. Hobby people, get out the way of the career people.
Right. Know your lane.
Know your lane and know what you want to do. Because hobby people can't get mad at career people because career people sacrifice things that hobby people didn't.
Right.
I'm a career person, so which means Melanie could have been a lawyer and lived comfortably, but Melanie is the career comic, which means Melanie has to sacrifice some comforts that she want, so she can get the trajectory in her career.
Yes.
If I want it to be hobby, then Melanie would just do this on the side. Go ahead, get her a house, dog, this, that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Melanie gonna be successful in whatever it is she do. Anything I do.
Blessed. Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, so whatever it is you do, you got to figure out what your end game is and treat it accordingly. Because at the end of the day, this is a career. When you go and look at it, this is a career path.
Yeah.
Most times when you take those tests and they tell you the different careers, attorney and comic is in the same one.
Wow.
Because if I wasn't a comedian, I can be a litigator because I'm good with my mind. We read people, we study body language, we argue, we use our words, we study, we research, we do everything lawyers do. We just do it comically.
Yeah.
So the thing of the matter is you have to figure out what you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is just the money will come.
Yes. Don't do it for the money. Don't chase
the
money.
money will come. You know what I'm saying? The money will come.
Just staying consistent.
This is a relationship business. Have some integrity. Have some character. Because that's what precedes yourself. And understand, we would rather deal with an unfunny comic who's not irritating than a very funny comic who gets on our nerves. Because we want to take you on a road. We have to be bothered with you all weekend. Right. If you get on my nerves and you musty, I don't want to be bothered. I don't care how funny you are.
Okay.
I'd rather take a mediocre person who know how to get Starbucks in the morning and they okay with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the thing
all that matters.
All that matters. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Don't be overbearing.
Yeah, I got to be like we go in school. Attitude determines attitude. Say it with me, class. Attitude determines
before you walk into the building.
You know what I'm saying? So your attitude, that would be the biggest thing. Your attitude in this business will determine your altitude in this business.
Yeah, you can truly self-sabotage.
You really can. So if you want to be blame game, mad, messy, all that, I guarantee you, you will be where you're going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get in your own way.
Don't get in your own way. But your attitude, again, because most people in this business that's success or that you see that got a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, around them or that's making an impact, they got a good attitude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying some people don't, but for the most part, we got to have a good attitude. Yeah. You know, be thankful.
Yeah. Keep God first.
Keep God first, but be thankful for your opportunities and just go to work. Yes. And we ain't got to know you working. Yeah. Just work.
He said just do it.
Just work.
Put the work in. Let your work speak for itself.
Let it speak for itself. We ain't got to know. Just go to work. That's Jesus. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can say. Just
I like that. Put that work
go to work. And my boy, this is the last time I'm saying, my boy Calvin put up something because Calvin Brown, my boy, because he said something that was very interesting and intriguing. And this is something that I want to nail home as well, is that my friend Mike Jeter taught me something. Pam. Performance, attitude, material. That all goes into one. How you look, how your attitude, your material, all that goes into one. But we are in the Midwest, and comedy, again, is a career. People go out. Just think about a night like this. You go out, you want to go see a show. Say if you want to go to the comedy club up the street. You got to put gas in your car, get your hair done, outfit, whatever. Even if you got something in your closet, you still got to touch up, fresh up, all that other kind of stuff. Put stuff into place. Get babysitters. If you don't have kids, you still got to put all your stuff together. Get your schedule together, all that. You get somewhere, you pay for food, you pay for drinks, you pay for parking, entry, all that. Even if any aspect of that is free, if it was difficult, if you had to walk a couple blocks, any of that, you get to a show. You sit down, you ready to have a good time, and you get a terrible comedian. So now you done sat through 90 minutes of a terrible comedian, or a comedian that's just about to roast you for no reason. You sit down and they just look at you because they not funny, insert nobody. Well, you stupid, this bit, you know what I'm saying? I just spent $200 to have a good time. And like he said, you could have ruined somebody's date, anniversary, New Year's Eve, special occasion. Some people could have been grieving. It's their first time out. Anything. At the end of the day, you want to get paid, but people come to see you.
So take that into account.
And the other thing is, you want money, but do you have a good enough product to sell? Jokes equal money. I can sell my jokes. Give the people something. You know what I'm saying? Because people buy my jokes. But anyway, that's how I know I can sell them. But I'm just saying, so jokes equal money. So if I can't say nothing else, just be funny, be professional, be polite, be kind.
Yes.
Because it costs you
humble too.
And humble. It costs you no money to be a decent human being.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's me.
Yes. Y'all heard Melanie Hearn. She's telling you. Give you some jewels. So we're coming to a close with our last question.
Oh, this was fun.
This was fun. Yes, it was. What projects do you have coming up, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So November, I have a show coming up.
Okay.
We're doing a big blackout show at the MRCC.
Okay.
The day after Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure when this is dropping. But I am working on a script for one of the shows, like I said, for when I worked at the cemetery. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. So I'm working on that. And honestly, in the next 5 years, I see myself touring the world, doing comedy.
Yes, come on now.
I see my sitcoms being picked up, and I see pilots dropping.
Yes.
In the next 5 years, I'm gonna be Murray. You know what I'm saying?
I
think I want twin boys. Twin boys. I don't even want Boaz. Boaz was older than her. I don't want nobody older. Give me Peter. Give me a little Peter. Give me Peter and Boaz. I need a thug and a provider.
You know, okay, so it's a combination. Like
take care of business, but cut the ear off. Cut the ear off.
But you got it in you.
But you got it in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I see myself with a well-balanced life, living healthy, holy, full, wholesome life. So living my life like it's gold in the next 5 years.
That sounds amazing. I really see that for you. So listen, y'all heard it first here. Melanie Hearn. Tap in with her, tune in. You see her information down at the bottom. Follow her on all social sites and stay connected so you can get connected to these shows that's coming up soon, okay? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, sis. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Yes, bye.